So in the last lesson, we talked about Entra user accounts. So how we can create users and external users and users. So in this lesson, we'll understand about Entra groups. So when we want to provide access to the users on various applications, could be Azure portal, could be MS Office application or a SharePoint application or a Teams or a OneDrive or a document in a SharePoint or a file share. Like many places, we might need to provide permissions. One thing is in to organizations might have like in teams where people working in together. Like in, I would say there is a finance team, a set of people and whom we need to provide permissions. Okay. Similarly, there is a payroll team, a set of people who are basically working under the payroll. And similarly, we see a talent acquisition. And similarly, like we would see, would be, I would say, HR department. So in many organizations, basically, we have some departments or teams who work together on a common tasks. Now, when we want to provide them an access, now we want to have all the finance team access to the specific set of resources. Now, one way I can do is in I can give access to the individual users. I can go to the set of resources and provide access to the individual resources. But when the finance team need access on multiple resources, like they want access on a SharePoint, OneDrive file, and some other file. Now we need to provide permissions on these individual resources. But the problem there is in when you want to provide a permissions for a new user in finance, again, you have to add the user in all the three resources. So what is the best way of doing it? That's where we have called as in groups. So we can use groups. Basically, groups are basically a set of users. Set of users. In another terminology, we call them as a members. So we can a set of members can be grouped like simple like you might be creating WhatsApp groups or some other like an as messenger groups like so it's basically a set of people belongs to that particular group used to assign permissions or share or collaborate purpose. So the easy thing is in so we can create a group and add the members into that group and we can assign permissions on the group. So when a new member joins to the team, we can simply add the user into that group. Then he gets access to all the resources for of that particular team. So like we have finance team, payroll team, like a talent acquisition, HR team. So I can have set of users. So instead of assigning permissions on individual basis, let's say user one, user two, so I can make these users a member of this particular finance group and we can assign permissions for another finance group. So if finance team require permissions on 10 different resources, so we provide permissions on the group. So tomorrow, if a new user joins this team, like in user four, I simply add him to a group, then automatically the user four will get the permissions like the user three on the finance team. That way the groups makes easier. So in Entra, so we have two different types of groups which we can create. One is a Microsoft 365 group, one is a security group. So the 365 group is explicitly maintained for collaboration and teamwork, typically like in and where people work together, like in SharePoint documents, okay, or link OneDrives, okay, where people want a shared mailbox, like in sharing of common calendar, like we see called as in Teams, like there are many applications. So we can use this 365 group, okay, to assign permissions for shared mailbox or calendar, these things. Similarly, security group. So we can use a security group mainly for assigning permissions and management purpose per one. Like, and we can provide permissions on the shared folders or the file shares on the Azure portal or a resources or an application licensing, anything. Okay. So only members can be part of this particular group, whereas security group can have members like users, devices, and service principals and other groups. So in a simple way, I cannot create an Office 365 group by adding these two groups into it. For a security group, I can have an like a HR department. This could be a top level a group, and I can add another group called as a talent acquisition and HR into this particular one. So when we want to provide permissions for the entire HR department, we can use this group. When we want to provide permissions for a specific function within this department, then we can provide permissions for talent acquisition group. But in Office 365 group, this is not possible, only in security group. Similarly, the Office 365 group can have only the members, but we cannot have a service principals or the group, I would say, called devices as part of that. That is a bit limited. So we need to understand when you want to create a 365 group and security group. So we can use best for projects requiring a central workspace, as like what we call as a SharePoint or a team workspace. So when we want to provide permissions on the portal or like in a devices or resources, then we can create a security group. So let's see how we can create the security groups. Let me go to the portal. So either you can go to the intra.microsoft.com. So we can see a groups. So we can create a new group. So here we see security group 365 group. So based on need to need basis, we can create it. I'm just giving a group name called as in finance team. We can specify the group description so that if someone sees that what is the purpose of this group. So owner, and we can see members. So we can make one of the user as a owner so that let's say the finance manager want to manage permissions. So we want to delegate the the permission management or group membership management to the finance manager so that he can add and review the members from the group. Now, so we can select the owner. So the owner can add the members. Like it's simple, like in WhatsApp groups, you might have seen admin. We call WhatsApp admin. The admin can add the members and can remove the members can take. Similarly, in the 365 groups, we call it as an owner. And members, no members is selected. So these are the list of people who are going to be part of this particular group. So I'm saying acute user one, and I'm saying something like that, unselected. So I have four members selected, created. So when you go to the groups, we would see a finance group created, and we go to the members of this group. We can see the four members. This way we can do that. But when I go to the owners, as of now, no owner has been defined. We can see that there are no owners over here. Now, so for this group, we can have this one. Okay. Later we will see that how we can. Similarly, you can create a 365 group. I'm giving you 365. I'm saying called as a talent acquisition group tag and email address. Same membership assigned. Owner, do you want to assign any owner or do you want to create this? You can select the members to be part of this and we can create it. So when we are assigning permission, so we can go to the subscriptions. Let's say I'm giving permissions. I'm selecting some permission. So here we can see user, group, or service principal. I select members. So instead of providing permissions on the individual users, so I select the group. I select the group. So what happens now? Whoever the members are part of this particular group, they get access to this subscription. So tomorrow, if you want to provide access to the new user, we simply add to that particular group. So we don't need to go to the individual resource and assign permissions. That way, the groups are very useful in the IT infra environments.